So today we're going to be going over ways that you can either add together vectors or also take vectors and break them into what's called their components. I apologize if you hear noises in the background. It's either the baby or the dog, but I want to get through this pretty quickly, so just bear with it. Okay, so first thing, here are the parts of a vector. So a vector is an arrow, just like that. So the tip is this part right here. That's the tip. And then the tail is here. Tail tells you magnitude, which is how much, and the tip tells you direction, which is which way. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Now, components, basically, I could take this vector and I could break it into stuff that is just in the x direction, so side to side, and stuff that is just in the y direction or just up and down. These two, this is probably the most important thing that you have to think of when you're thinking of vectors. Now, I've done this all in the same color, but throughout the rest of this, when I draw things with vectors, I do color code. Now, resultant is if you add together two or more vectors. So resultant will always be green, the y direction for me will always be blue, and the x direction will always be red. So that way I can keep them straight. So, when you're adding them together linearly, which basically means they're all in the same direction, either x or y, you just add them like regular numbers. So this one would be from this beginning to this end, and the resultant is equal to the sum of the length of the other two vectors. If you have, say, a vector going forward and then one going back, it's like subtracting. So the resultant is going to be shorter than the two component vectors together. Or shorter than the larger of the two component vectors up here at the top. You can only do this if they're in the same direction. So they can either be both in the x direction like this, or both in the y direction like this. Now, if you have something that's a little bit in the x, a little bit in the y, well, we'll get to that in just a second. Like I said, they're just numbers. So, when you add nonlinear vectors, which means that they're either not both x, not both y, or some combination, you still add them tip to tail. So just like we talked about with Superman versus the Flash, where I showed you those vectors on the board, and just like how you drew them for the Take a Hike project, it's a path. So basically wherever one path piece ends, that's where the next one begins. So for two that are perpendicular, it looks a little something like this. Okay, so it's tip to tail, and the resultant goes from the beginning to the end of those vectors. Now for vectors that are not necessarily perpendicular or orthogonal, you're going to have them still go tip to tail, and the resultant still goes from beginning to end. Okay? So always go from beginning to end, because this is just like that displacement vector. So this is Superman versus the Flash. So the Flash has to take the entire path. The resultant is a lot like the Superman vector we talked about before. So if you're adding vectors and you actually need a number, you will have to add the total in x and the total in y first, okay? The way you want to do that is basically you can break them down using a couple different trig things. The way you'll find direction is basically the angle from either the horizontal or the vertical. So again, so we've got our axis. So you can either define the angle based on how it moves from the vertical y-axis. So it could be like 10 degrees that way from y, or this would be like counterclockwise and clockwise. Or you can do it from x. Okay, and it will be like above, below, that kind of thing. I will tell you, generally speaking, we define things by the positive x-axis. So you would define the angle as something degrees above x. Now the book will also say below x, so you can just use a little bit of what you know about trigonometry, where the idea is that this whole thing, that's 360 degrees, or each quadrant is 90 degrees, and you can use that to help you figure out how you want to define your angle. Now that's really up to you, okay? It's a good way to check if you have the same thing as the textbook. Now, once you've added together the x piece and the y piece, so you'll basically add together all the pieces that are going along the x and all the pieces that are going along the y, and you'll use that to find the angle, which we'll talk about in a second. You'll then use the Pythagorean theorem to find the resultant magnitude, which is just the length. So let's practice. In terms of finding different pieces, you are going to need to use our trig functions. So we have sine, cosine, and tangent. So depending on how you define the angle is how you're going to define adjacent, opposite, or hypotenuse is pretty much always going to be Not pretty much. It always is that longest side. Adjacent and opposite are based on where you define this angle. So adjacent is always going to be next to the angle. Think of the angle as like an eyeball right there. So opposite is what the eye sees if it's open. See opposite open. See how that works? And then adjacent is attached to the eyeball. Adjacent attached. Okay? So we can use these to do a couple different things. We can use these to break down our resultant vector or some combination of vectors into x and y components. We can also use them to find the final angle. Okay, so if you're looking for breaking things down, say you know C. Okay, what you would want to do is basically, if you're looking for this piece would be the y piece because it's up and down, you would do whatever has that adjacent. Okay, in this case it's cosine. Now, if you're looking for the x piece, you would use sine of that angle. Okay? Now, people will always ask me, oh, isn't x always cosine? Isn't y always sine? You really need to look at where the angle is defined and use that to find it. So it's a safer thing to do is to look at your angle and then use that to find the piece you're looking for. So basically for this b right here, this would be c. So it's opposite, so that's sine theta equals b. And then for the blue piece, the y piece, that's going to be c cosine theta equals a. Okay? You can also use this to go the other way. You can find, if you have pieces, you can use that to find the angle as well, which we'll look at in just a second. So, also, we got the Pythagorean theorem. Fun fact. Pythagoras actually didn't come up with this. It was his followers who also hated onions, just letting you know, where you're going to be looking for the length of the magnitude. Okay? Now, as you can see, this gives you a plus or minus. You're just going to use the plus version. So basically, to find, I'm going to write this out in my color code so you can follow along. So I'm going to label this. This is the resultant over here, so it's green. We're going to make the B blue, that's going to be our y piece. I'm going to write out a nice equation to use. And then the red is the x piece. We're going to write that right there. Okay? So now if I'm looking for the resultant, so an equation you can use is R. This is the magnitude of the resultant, which we also write with absolute value signs because we're just looking for the positive, equals square root. Put a plus sign here to save myself some time, of x squared plus y squared. So basically those are the components in the x direction plus the components in the y direction. Like I said, in the beginning we're just going to be doing some pieces that are all x, some pieces that are all y, but later on you're going to see we'll have vectors that we have to decompose and work together. That's going to come up in the forces unit for sure. But this is a nice friendly equation you can use to find the magnitude of the resultant. So this is total in x, and this is total in y. Okay. All right. Now that we've done this, let's go ahead and practice. So in terms of doing problems with vectors, the homework solutions, I did work them out into guess. However, many problems will have vectors included in pretty much the diagram portion and the given portion. So I'm just going to show you kind of how we're going to work this out. I will do it into guess in this case. Later on, you're going to be able to kind of do it without doing that. Okay? Let's start with drawing some stuff out. So a car is driving up an incline. And we want to find the x component of velocity. Okay? So I'm going to kind of redraw this vector. The same sideways as that vector would travel. So it's just the sideways piece. Now I'm going to draw my y component. There it goes. This is y, because I said so. Yes. Fine. And there's the x piece. Okay? So now I need to go ahead and list out my givens. So I'm given the resultant is 15 meters per second. And I want to find x and y, and the angle is component. Okay? So I'm going to look at this and figure out that x is going to be either r cosine theta or r sine theta. Now, if this is my angle here, there's my eyeball. Oh, pretty. X is adjacent. So if I look at SOHCAHTOA, if you need to write this on tests, I highly encourage it. It's a good way to remember it. So opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, opposite over adjacent. So adjacent is going to be cosine. So cosine theta. And then y equals, so good rule of thumb, if one of them is cosine, the other has to be sine. Okay, so we got y equals sine theta. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and draw an arrow and just use these again because I don't need to rewrite them. So now I'm going to plug in the numbers. So, oh, I forgot to write. This is resultant times sine theta and resultant times cosine theta. Okay, so now x equals 15 meters per second times cosine of 15 degrees. And y equals 15 meters per second times sine of 15 degrees. Now you would plug this into your calculator and a couple sanity checks. These should both be smaller than r. Okay? Less than r. So each one should be under 15. If you get a number that's over 15, you've got a problem. That means you didn't put your calculator probably in degrees, it's still in radians. So check that it's in degrees when you do this. You can also change this to radians if you really want to, but that's okay. I'm not going to plug these in right now because I want to show you one more problem and I want to make sure I have enough time to do that. Okay? So let's go ahead and move on to the next piece, which is, oh, okay. I guess I just did one problem. Give me 1 second. Oh. Yeah, let's just do this. Finding the resultant. So you'll be given direction for vectors. When you give your answer, you can give the direction as either the angle or you can give the direction as like northwest. In this case, it wants you to have that angle. That's just my dog. It's fine. All right. We got kitchen. If you're wondering, he went east. Just so you know. All right. In this case, we have 22 west. As you can tell, I'm not going to. I hope you find it very entertaining. Okay, and then from beginning to end. Okay. I'm so excited about this. All right, so that is the diagram. I like to kind of multiple. So I like to do like this. So I'm glad I did that. Carefully. All right. So, kilometers west. So I also need to make sure I remember my cardinal directions. So never doggy waffles. That's how I live my life. So now I have this. Okay. There we go. I have a feeling he saw a squirrel. Okay. All right. There we go. We've got 23 kilometers west and 40 kilometers north, and then our resultant is going that way. So, like I said, you can define your angle however you want. You could be looking for this angle right here. That's totally fine. Or you can define it from the positive x-axis. I would like to say that this angle probably is more defined. You can define it based on, say, theta degrees above negative x. That would be totally fine. Or you could find what it is relative to the positive x-axis. That's also fine. Okay? All right. So, like I was saying, it's important to define your direction. Later on, you're going to have more and more pieces of these vectors. Okay? Unknown. We're looking for the resultant. Our equation. Was that one I showed you before? So resultant equals square roots of x squared plus y squared. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and use that and plug some stuff in. So r equals square root of 23, so negative 23 kilometers plus 48 kilometers squared. I'm not going to plug that in right now, but you can see where I'm going. And also, if we're looking for angle, we also want to use an inverse trig function. So the one I'm going to use, because these are my given values, I'm actually going to use tan inverse of y over x, because opposite, oh, forward one. Let's see if I do this. Okay. There we go. Thank you for your patience, guys. I really appreciate it. All right. So we have tan is, again, so really hope this is entertaining for somebody. TOA. So opposite over adjacent, and that's the numbers that were given. And like I always say, I want to use the givens because I know that they're the right number. So if I make a mistake here, it's not going to affect my results. Okay? So now we're going to do tan inverse of 48 kilometers over negative 23 kilometers. Now what's funny is this angle will actually be relative to the positive x-axis. You want to look at what you're kind of seeing and what it tells you. Now, tangent, sine, and cosine, they don't really give you directions very well, so you have to be able to look at the problem, see what you get, and where it applies in the quadrant, and what quadrant you're actually looking for. It's good to have sanity checks because you can look at, if you get like some negative angle, you can look at what that means relative to the other angles around it. Okay, so we have talked about parts of vectors. We have talked about decomposing vectors, solving for resultant, and also how you can add various vectors together. Later on, we're going to see more complex versions of these problems, and you'll have seen them in your homework. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Again, thank you for your patience with this video. I'm just trying at this point to get videos done as quickly as possible. So I'm going to make them, they're going to be pretty raw, unlike the previous videos where I had more free time. All right, well, have a great day and see you next time.